On Thursday, March 23, 2015, I attended a regularly scheduled City Council meeting for the City of Des Moines, Iowa. All council members were in attendance, including the 4 members elected to represent the 4 wards throughout the city and the 2 at-large members. The mayor, Frank County, was traveling but did call in for portions of the meeting. The meeting was led by Christine Hensley, the longest-serving member of the council. All 7 personnel voted on matters requiring their attention, and their votes were immediately shared with the audience through an electronic polling system. The meeting was recorded by the city and broadcast on local television, streamed live, and made available on demand on the city website. The meeting agenda and minutes were also made available on the city website. These steps are significant in making the council more approachable and increasing transparency into the processes and decisions of the council. There were no other cameras in the room. However, there were representatives from the local newspaper, the Des Moines Register, who later published articles on a couple of the matters that received the most attention at the meeting. The meeting was procedural in nature and followed the pre-published agenda closely. Despite the professionalism of the event, there was still a casual sense in the room, as Councilmember Hensley made everyone feel comfortable. The meeting lasted approximately 1 hour, and there were a variety of matters discussed, including restaurant licensure renewals, land purchases, and a brief update on a downtown parking garage development. There were 3 items that received a great deal of interest and discussion from citizens, interest groups, board members, and the media: the proposal for a food truck pilot program, a salary increase for the mayor and the council members, and the progress of a city improvement project in the Southwest 9th Corridor. The first matter that received a lot of attention was the proposal for a food truck pilot program. This proposal was not passed and will undergo a third review at the next council meeting. Zach Mannheimer, a representative from Legion of Food, a newly formed nonprofit food truck association in Des Moines, spoke on behalf of the organization and its food truck vendors. He has been active in fostering collaboration between the city and the Legion of Food to develop the proposed pilot program. Currently, food trucks are allowed to be parked on private property only. The pilot would allow vendors to park at metered parking spots along designated city streets. The proposed plan requires vendors to pay a $275 licensing fee, as well as a $590 fee for each metered spot. Opponents to the program, including council members Joe Gatto and Chris Coleman, are concerned that the fees are not high enough. The city attorney countered that Iowa state law states that fees may only be used to cover the actual cost. Therefore, increased fees cannot be charged. In addition, Zach Mannheimer expressed to the council that the vendors understand that this is only a pilot program and that fees could be reassessed at the end of the pilot before making the program official. During this discussion, tension began to build in the room. Councilmember Hensley handled the situation well by utilizing strong conflict resolution skills. She rephrased specific sentences that seemed to especially bother the opposing side and redirected the discussion when necessary. Councilman Coleman voted no on the proposal, and Councilman Gatto abstained from the vote as he owns a restaurant business in the downtown area and felt that it would be a conflict of interest and therefore unethical for him to vote on the matter. Public opinion has been in support of the pilot program. The city has been striving to continue to attract young professionals and new talent, both of which have expressed interest in the program. The city has incorporated many smart growth principles with a focus on making the city a place designed for people, with a variety of fairs, festivals, events, and unique neighborhood areas. An active food truck scene would aid in the community's smart growth. The program is currently past its planning phase and waiting to be approved for implementation. The hope for proponents is that the program will be able to move into full implementation following the next council meeting. This 6-month pilot program will allow for the entire process, from planning to evaluation, to be witnessed in a relatively short period of time, providing for a significant opportunity for learning. The next item that received a large amount of discussion and media attention was the proposal to increase the salaries of the council members and the mayor by 22%. Prior to a vote taking place, Councilmember Coleman stated that the last change to the salary was over a decade ago. and at that time the decision was to decrease the salaries to assist in a citywide budget cut and set an example for responsible financial management by the city's elected leaders. This item passed with unanimous approval and was followed by a great deal of media attention. Local news stations and media outlets have focused on the large number of 22%, as it provides a much more shocking headline than the actual 2% per year average. While salary raises are rarely popular, offering a competitive salary is an important human resource measure in ensuring that the city is able to retain talent in both the council and the mayor position. Raising one's own salary can be viewed as unethical, so it's important to acknowledge that the raise that the council approved does not take effect until the next term. Therefore, they did not necessarily give themselves a pay raise. Depending on the results of the next election, they may or may not individually benefit from the outcome of their decision. The final item that received a lot of attention was a status update on community improvements within the Southwest Ninth Corridor. The improvements have been planned and implemented by a local nonprofit group called Friends of Southwest Ninth, whose goal is to revitalize a 5-mile stretch of Southwest Ninth Street by remodeling some of the buildings in need and demolishing other, more debilitated buildings. The organization kicked off in January of 2014 and has since begun improvements and identified funding for all but $400,000 of their plan. The organization is comprised of city leaders, business owners, citizens, and nonprofit organizations. Leaders of the group have encouraged involvement by all in the area. This has required the management of multiple organizations and interest groups. However, leaders are aware of the importance of making the improvements a true community effort. The program received kudos and thanks from many council members and local media outlets. This program helps to show that the desire to make improvements is citywide. This program is an example of the city's commitment to smart growth, as they encourage and provide funding for growth and development that improves our communities.